Welcome, in front of me is a ZTE Axon 9 Pro, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the system navigation, which will allow you to substitute the pesky old buttons for something a little bit more modern, gesture based. So number one, let's go into the settings, and from here features and system navigation, and you will find it right here. So it's the last option, gestures. Now I disadvise on using the Google One swipe navigation. This is just kind of trash. It's kind of combining the virtual navigation with gesture and making it worse somehow. So I would disadvise on that. But the gestures itself work really well. So just a brief overview. Swipe up to go home. You can swipe from the little bottom of the screen. Swipe and hold to go into recent, then swipe from the sides to go back. So that is just a quick overview on how this works. So the next thing we're going to go into is the device theme, and right now I have it set to be automatic, which is based on the wallpaper. And as you see, if I pull the notification panel, it's white with, well, light accents. So if I go into the settings, and then I'm going to go into the display right here, advanced, and scroll all the way down, you'll find device theme. And here we have option to also set it to static, so it would be light or dark. So I'm just gonna choose dark right now so you can see how it looks like. Now if you pull it down, you can see it's, well, dark. Now when it's set to based on wallpaper, if you set some kind of dark wallpaper, it will change it to dark theme. If it's light wallpaper like it is right now, it will be light. So keep that in mind. Now choosing light or dark will keep it just static no matter what the wallpaper is. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go into the show password, which the option does the exact opposite thing of it. And I have it already enabled, so I'm going to quickly show what it does. So if you go into typing a password, you can see that there is no visible letter when you're typing it in. Now, for me, when I'm typing in a password, I do not want to have any kind of letter visible of my password because security. So showing my password in a line just helps someone else, I guess, gather my password, and it just doesn't sit right with me. So to change this, you can go into settings. If you want to have it like this, you want to go into settings, then security and location. From here, scroll down, tap on advanced, and you'll find this option, show password, and just disable it as it is right now, and your password will be an immediate dot and not visible. Yeah, so moving on, we're going to go into screen pinning, and just before I actually go into it, I will mention that if you're trying to use screen pinning with gesture navigations, just don't. For some reason, this just completely doesn't work on this device and makes the entire experience be a living nightmare. So I'm actually going to show how to get it unstuck if you have some problems with it. But number one, we're going to go into the security and location again, and advanced and screen pinning right here. Just make sure that it's enabled. Now if you want to add some additional security, you can check that on, and then when you're trying to unpin the device, it will immediately lock itself, and then you will have to put in a pin for your device. So now that this is enabled, I can actually show it. So this is going to be right now with gesture navigations, which will completely mess up the entire experience of this option. So it's going to recent, and this is how you enable it. So in recent, tap on the icon itself, and you will have the option to pin. Right, it gives you this nice screen pinning message, and it tells you to hold back and home button to unpin. Unfortunately, gesture navigations doesn't have buttons anymore, so it's now completely bugged. But normally, if you would have the buttons, you would be able to hold both of the buttons to unpin it and go back to using your phone normally. Now, you can't really leave, you can't really press the buttons because, well, they don't exist. The only thing you can do is go into recent, because that's somehow not locked. And from here you have access to literally the entire home screen. So it defeats the purpose of this option with gesture navigations. So let's just do this. So I would close this, and now I'm in home screen, and keep in mind that the device is still locked, so if I try to do anything, it tells me to unpin the message, so that's very nice. But if you have this problem with gesture navigations, then you want to go into features, system navigation, and just enable the buttons right here, and then you can simply unpin it like so. You can see screen unpin, and now it will work normally. Now, in a normal circumstance, when you enable this with normal navigation, cool, got it, it will just lock the user into using a specific app, and they won't be able to leave it. So if you see I try to press something, it just gives me the message. I can navigate through this entire app, but I cannot leave it. And if you have the option to lock the device when unpinned, if I try to unpin, for instance, I know the combination to unpin it because, well, it's provided there, and I unpin, the device just gets locked then, and I would have to put in a passcode to get access to it. So this is a nice option if you, for instance, letting some stranger make a phone call out of your phone. It will basically render it inaccessible to anything else apart from the app that they're trying to use right now. So now moving on, we're going to go into the last thing, which is the animation speed, and this will just simply reduce the animation speeds. As you can see, everything you do has animations of like zooming in, out, sliding down, whatever it is. You can reduce it, increase it, whatever you like. So to enable it, let's go into settings and then system, and then we're gonna go into about phone right here, and let's find build number right here, tap on that 7 times. It gives you a message, you are now a developer. Now we can go back and you can see there's a developer options. So from here, scroll down past like halfway, there it is, and you will find the window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. Now each one of them corresponds to a different one. As an example, the first one, window animation scale. Window is the window that appears when you have the options to choose the scale. So this is ×1. Now if I just choose it ×10, you can see drastic difference in how quick it opens. And I can choose it to half speed, which I advise on choosing half speed. It's the best of both worlds, keeping animations but making them significantly faster, while off may have a little bit of a wonky effect where everything just disappears and appears instantaneously, and it just looks, in my opinion, a little bit weird if you're not used to that kind of thing, because, well, every device has animations. But you can see that this is way better. So you can see the animations are literally twice as fast. And yeah, so if you found any of these tweaks and tricks helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.